It is Friday, September 5th, 2025. This is another edition of Baseball Today presented to you by Mountain Dew. Looking for a refreshing citrusy kick this summer? Go grab yourself a Mountain Dew. That is my man, Trevor Plouffe. I am Chris Rose, producer Dan, and intern Sawyer back from the LSAD. Good to have him with us. Quick tip of the cap. NFL season got started yesterday, and Bryce Harper making himself a two-sport star. Look at them Philadelphia Eagles kicks that he was wearing in the Phillies 2-0 win in Milwaukee. Those are nice.
Is he going to switch to the Las Vegas Raiders eventually?
Ooh.
Right? I don't know. Has he always been an Eagles fan? It makes sense. I like this for him right now, but I'm just wondering after his Phillies career is done, what does he do? It's difficult for guys.
Oh, that's a good call. That's a good
I
a
used to
little bit
kind of root
later.
for the Vikings a little bit.
You did?
A little bit.
Yeah, I like it. I like it when it's legit and not forced. But at the same time, who have we seen? We've seen guys walk in with certain caps when they're not. Is it Jalen Hurts that's from Houston or something? We saw him wear an Astros
Yeah,
hat
I think
when
so.
the Phillies were playing them in the
I
World
think
Series.
so.
CJ Stroud just did
CJ
something
Stroud's the one that
recently.
comes to my mind, yeah.
Yeah, so it's I don't know. Whatever your fandom is, your fandom is, but I kinda dig it. I like it when it's a totally different color scheme than the rest of your uni. I
Yeah,
like it.
he's always got that because he's got, the Fanatic green as well, so the
Yes,
Eagles
he
just
does.
played perfectly into it.
Sure did. Sure did. Okay, we're gonna get it going with the team whose hat I am wearing. The Pittsburgh Pirates. I like to bust it out when we have some topics because I haven't talked very much about them in recent months. That's right. The champs ended up being roadkill in Pittsburgh. They were swept by the Pirates thanks to another gem by none other than Paul Skenes. 6 shutout innings, 8 Ks, 2 hits allowed. His ERA dipped below 2 for the season, added more frustration to an offense that has obviously lost its way.
Yeah, I mean that's why we play the game. That's why they call it the show for a reason. So that's the stuff that you enjoy. Going for a sweep at home, against the arguably the best team in baseball. Those are cool opportunities. Can't take them for granted.
Producer Dan had a very. What are you laughing at?
I just think he's trying really hard to, like, be excited about what's going on there in Pittsburgh. Although they've been playing they're
Hey.
above 500 in the Don Kelly era, correct?
52 and 51 since he took over on May 8th. The Pirates were 14 under 500 before that happened.
500 ball gets you damn close to the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, maybe next year.
Well, we're going to spend probably every third day in the offseason saying if the Pirates could just sign a legit bat to a multi-year offer or go trade, we'll see. You're stocked with pitching. People want young, controllable pitching. If you don't
Yeah.
want to go sign somebody, go trade for somebody because we need to see this guy. And we'll get to that eventually. Just overall, if you're looking for numbers. Skenes 1.97 ERA in 52 starts. That is the lowest through 52 starts in the live ball era. I mean, once again, it's like we're not making a big enough deal about him. Everybody goes, we always talk about him every start. Did y'all just hear what I said? In the live ball era, this guy's got the lowest ERA through. It's not through 12 starts. It's not through 60. It's through 52 starts. That's 2 full seasons.
He's incredible. I mean, it's just the rare combination, the rarest combination of just incredible stuff, incredible command, incredible mound presence, incredible work ethic. Like, it's everything rolled into one. A lot of times guys have maybe one or two of those four things I just mentioned, and to have all four and to continue to do it. It's a lot of guys get to a spot and you might have command for a 6-game stretch, but this guy's just been able to do it every single time he's out. It's just I agree with you. I think that we're the same way because we do talk about Judge, Otani, and Skeens a lot, but these guys, you can't get fatigued with them. You have to realize what we're seeing in real time. These are the guys you're going to be telling your grandkids about. Yeah, I saw Paul Skeens pitch. It was incredible. Like, these are the guys.
A great question from a viewer out there named Michael goes by Friendly Confine. He asked last night on Twitter, is Skenes' predictable absence from the playoffs more or less disappointing than Mike Trout's absence? Skenes' performance against LA has been phenomenal. I thought it was a really, really good question. It made me think because most people say, well, Mike Trout, come on now. That's a position player. That's an easy answer. But to me, there are few things better in this sport than when we see a starting pitcher go on a ridiculous run in the playoffs.
Agree, but it's to me, it's we needed to see Trout in his prime more, and because that's past, that's the sadder thing,
Yeah, you're right.
right? Like Skeen still has plenty of years. We just mentioned like the Pirates may be on the way up. They have a chance, and there's still hope that he becomes a guy that we do see in October in his career. For Mike Trout, it's just not going to happen, Chris. Especially we're talking prime, like he's just not that guy anymore that he was. Like people have to remember like how damn good Michael Trout was. So I think to me it's always going to be Trout unless we go 14 years with Skeens not making the playoffs, which that will be tough.
Okay.
And
So
okay,
I'm
here's
going to
the thing
set an
also
over.
with Skeens. He's never going to sign an extension in Pittsburgh. So like eventually
Right.
he'll get out. Mike Trout took the extension in Anaheim, didn't work out.
Okay. So what's going to end up being the higher number? Playoff games Mike Trout had with the Angels, which was 3, or Paul Skeens' playoff starts for Pittsburgh?
For Pittsburgh, I'll go less. I'll go less.
I'll go less too.
I
God.
think he ends up making a bunch of playoff starts with a different team,
Yep.
but
I would
with the
agree.
Pirates, I'll go less.
I think that the Pirates have one more year before he starts to lose his shit a little bit and starts to say, hey, listen, come on now. I've had about enough. You could see a little bit of the cracks in the foundation at times this year. He has done a remarkable job of holding it together, but I know that he's got to be frustrated. Like, I bet you last night was awesome for him. Get to go against the champs, freaking to blow through Ohtani the way that he did, and to walk off and get a standing ovation after 6 shutout innings where you allowed just 2 hits and strike out 8. That's probably the closest he's going to have to a playoff game.
It seems like he just doesn't. Nothing phases him.
I know, but it's got to piss him off a little
Yeah,
bit.
for sure. No, for sure.
It's got to. All right, good question, Michael. Thank you very much.
Let me
See?
ask you this real quick.
Yeah.
If they just threw a ridiculous amount of money at him, would he sign?
No.
You don't think so?
No. All right. Let's get to everybody's favorite umpire, Brian Walsh, who was back in the center of it all Thursday night down in Houston. Remember what happened behind the plate in our little discussion? Well, here he is being the third base ump. Ryan McMahon looks like he caught the Altuve line drive, then lost it on the transfer, so that should be an out, right? Well, Walsh said, no. That is a dropped ball, and so runners are safe. They get together, and they say he is indeed safe. This is a non-reviewable play. So Aaron Boone's like, oh, hold on. No. So Walsh again screws up a call. Yankees, they hang on. They win the series, but still a lot of what the hell happened, Ryan McMahon and Aaron Boone?
Yeah, I think some dirt kicked up. I think they were a little confused on if I caught it or not. I looked at the video. I do think I caught it, but I'm always going to think I caught it. So I'll leave that up to everybody else to decide. Doesn't matter. Got the win. That's all I care about.
I don't know. It's just we overcame it.
Okay, so we both said on Thursday's show, there's no way that his bias, where he wore a Red Sox shirt when he took a tour of Fenway, or that he grew up and was a lifelong Dodger fan, as he said on his social media, that came into play. And guess what? We got pounded by everybody, and they'll go, see, you guys are idiots for putting that out there. This didn't age well. Do we have to take back what we said?
No, we don't. No, we don't. You were on a crusade last night trying to defend what we're talking about. Here's the thing, okay? Like you mentioned, two things can be true. That he's not biased and he's a bad umpire. Like he's had that was a bad series, and he's had bad games before. All umpires have had bad games. That one in particular you're right there. and there was no dirt that kicked up. I know McMahon said all the right things right there. Do you see any dirt here? Because I don't.
I don't either.
I don't see any dirt.
Nope.
Like not one speck of dirt. That's clearly a catch. He just got the call wrong. That's all it is. And like Boone said, they overcame it. Thank God they overcame and got the series dub, Chris, because could you imagine if they got swept at the hands of the Astros and these calls had happened? It would have been mayhem on social media, more so than it already was. But I do want to point out this for all the Yankee fans, we got screwed. It's also on the internet for everyone to see is how many favorable calls the Yankees have gotten over the year. They're by far the most favored team when it comes to getting calls. So just have fun. You got the series victory. Stop complaining about the umpires. I know it was bad, but you don't want that to get brought up that you've gotten the most calls in the big leagues.
Well, you might want to send some of those words down to Barbados, where our crew down there who's trying to win a cricket contest we have guys screaming and MFing Brian Walsh. I was actually a little embarrassed by it, to be honest with you. You're entitled to whatever opinion you want. I think it's a little out of bounds when you're going that direction and screaming that. Now, I know that some of it might be tongue-in-cheek and saying, Brian Walsh hates us. Folks, he still doesn't hate you. He stinks at his job. And does that need to be rectified? Absolutely. We mention this probably 10 times a year on the show, that we have no idea how umpires are graded. We don't know if they're held to a certain standard. We don't know if they're sent down because of their poor performances, just like players are, or just like managers are. They get dismissed if they're not good at their jobs. That is the biggest problem. You know what else was a huge problem? Not necessarily that he made a shitty call last night, because those calls do happen and they're terrible. The fact that it isn't reviewable, that it's not reviewable. What are we doing? Why couldn't they have gotten together? Why couldn't Aaron Boone have come out and said, I want that reviewed? Because if that's reviewed, that's not a judgment call. Anybody that thinks that Ryan McMahon did not catch that ball doesn't understand what a catch is. Then you really shouldn't be doing the job. But please, for people to keep sending in my mentions, well, you're a fucking idiot. Well, you want to take it back now? No. In fact, it just further proved my point that he's a bad umpire. That is the problem. Not that he wore a Red Sox shirt. Not that he grew up a Dodger fan. Because if so, then we're going to have to investigate everybody. The other point is that, well, 2 of your Cleveland pitchers are being investigated for being on the take. Is it possible he's on the take? Sure. Could be. Well, then you better check every umpire, every single game. You better do that. Well, he's got 2 friends that are known gamblers on Facebook. You know what? I know people that are gamblers, and I don't gamble in anything. Go check my records. I'm not allowed to. So, yes, yeah, all this stuff. Would I have put out that I wore a Red Sox shirt on social media if I were an umpire? Would I put out that I'm a lifelong Dodger fan? No. But just because he's an idiot doesn't mean that he can't umpire fairly. It's that simple. Stop living in your little world. Stop it. It's unhealthy for you. I'm trying to help you.
Look, I agree with everything you just said. There's just a few things here. Number one, I love the passion from fan bases, and it's all fan bases, not just Yankees. I just got into with the Blue Jays, but I made good with that. I'm now officially a Blue Jays fan, so that's great. So I love the passion, but you're right. Sometimes you just have to like big brain it, big picture, get some perspective on everything. But I do. This is the thing, Chris. He should be reprimanded for like, that was a horrible series. He won't. It just doesn't happen. I don't know if he might get a stern letter from the president of the Umpires Association. Great. He ain't getting fined. He ain't getting suspended. I'll tell you what, he ain't paying. He's not doing the playoff games. If Brian Walsh is in some playoff games, then we have a completely different discussion.
Okay, let me throw this at you. Let's say that, I don't know if he is, none of us do, if he's on the schedule to umpire another Yankees series. If you were Major League Baseball, would you move him off of it?
No.
I wouldn't either.
No.
I wouldn't either.
Dude, people get mad at umpires all the time. We just had in the Phillies-Brewers series, Jim Wolf getting chewed out by Pat Murphy and everyone getting crazy at him because he didn't call the check swing on JT Realmuto. Jim Wolf's been an umpire for how many years?
Not only that, Jim Wolf had a pitcher had a brother, Randy, whom you've talked about, who pitched in this league,
Yes.
and he would umpire series.
Yeah, he couldn't umpire behind the plate, though. That's one thing.
That's true, but he would umpire series. I'm sorry. I love my Cleveland Guardians. I love my brothers a lot more. So if Major League Baseball is willing to put their own reputation, and obviously the reputation of a guy who's been known as a pretty good umpire throughout his career. I don't know where he ranks these days, but right? Jim was always a pretty good umpire.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to say it if it's
No, he's
not
on
true.
one of the he is, and he's on one of the better crews in the league right now too.
Okay. So I just, and people have come back at us and said, well, you can't prove it. You don't know what's going on inside of his brain. You're right. That is 100% accurate. I am willing to take a chance because I live in a country where you're innocent until proven guilty. I would hate for a lot of these people that have fired back at us to be on a jury of our peers. I really would, because the philosophy you're having is that, evidence doesn't matter. Just doesn't. And you can't use that he wore a Red Sox shirt at a Fenway Park tour as your evidence.
Yeah, especially our guys at our company, because I believe there's a picture floating out there,
That
Jimmy
was
and Jake in
horrible.
a Mets uniform.
Yeah, it's just silly. It's silly. I know that we were having fun with it last night, and I think who knows what sort of mood our guys were in down in Barbados, but maybe they were having fun, maybe they weren't. You think that's the last we're going to talk of Brian Walsh?
I sure hope so, Chris. I really hope so.
Hey, you can let us know if you still think we're off base. That's fine. And I need to make one last point. And this one I'm firm on. We had a handful of people who said, well, now that you have a deal with MLB, you're trying to cover for him. Bullshit. First of all, we said he's bad at his job. How is that covering for anybody? Number two, I have worked at a place in the past where I was told sometimes, hey, don't go that direction. Because when you work for a league-owned network, that happens sometimes. Not once has that happened here. Not once. So get that out of your head. Okay? You can disagree with anything I say, and that's fine. I don't ever take it personally. But I don't ever get told what to say and what not to say. Hasn't happened yet. I'll let you know when it does, because I don't think it's coming. Got it? Thank you. Time for our Like a Bosch Player of the Week, brought to you by Bosch Power Tools. Just like Bosch Power Tools, this player got the job done through hard work, grit, and determination. Who's your dude?
I'm going with friend of the pod. We could have went with Hedgies for a homer off Crochet. That was nice. But we're going with another friend, Ian Happ, 12 for 28 on the week, 429 average, 3 doubles, 3 homers, 9 runs driven in, scored 6 runs, walked 3 times, 1.3 OPS. Cubs offense coming alive. They're looking better as a team. I fully expect Ian and the Cubs to kind of get it all together before the playoffs start.
It's a good one. I'm going to go with a guy who has helped the Tampa Bay Rays rip off 7 in a row and get very much back in the AL wildcard race. Yandy Diaz. I know that we've talked a lot about Junior Caminero, and we understand why. The kid's 22, and he just put up a 40 and 100. But Yandy is a guy that really can be a tone setter. He usually hits second in that lineup. He uses the field. He can pull the ball. He drives it to right center beautifully. I think he went 9 for 22 with 6 runs scored. That, to me, is the big number. They had a season-high 19 hits the other day. He had a 5-hit game. So I'm a big believer in what he does out there. Plus, I just want to have arms that look like his. So I'm working hard on that.
Yeah, I think maybe they should try something else.
That's probably accurate. Maybe I should just try lifting my Bosch Power Tool, because that's who's sponsoring today's episode. Because you know what? When you pick up Bosch Power Tools, not only does it give you manly muscles, it makes you feel empowered and confident and appreciated no matter what job lies ahead. You're simply going to crush it. As a global leader for power tools, measuring tools, and accessories, Bosch's innovative product solutions are built with quality engineering and precision in mind. The assortment of products ensures that you have the right tools in your toolbox to tackle a variety of tasks with relative ease. Bosch's 18-volt battery platform powers numerous tools, creating a consistent energy home base that keeps the brand's family of tools running. Like your favorite players on the field, Bosch Power Tools make sure that you are powered up, ready for anything that gets thrown your way, because the more you Bosch, the more you feel like a Bosch. So head on over to BoschTools.com today to learn more about power tools you need to get the job done right each and every time. All right, I want to get back to the Yankees because after their big series win down in Houston, they come back for what is now their biggest series of the year. 3-game set with AL East leading Toronto. Yankees 3 back. What are you watching most closely in this series?
I think a bunch of different things. I want to see the crowd. I want to see what that's going to look like because I think that's important. I want to see if the Blue Jays are going to try to, kind of do what they do, but maybe pump it up a level, like take the extra base. Are we going to see some? Are we going to see some bunts? Are we going to see some hit and runs? I'm interested to see that. But the main thing I'm looking at is my guy Cam Schlittler. I just want to see what he does. He's faced the Blue Jays. That was his second career start back in July. 5 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, great. We talk about a lot of these young guys that have come up and thrown the ball, and I don't think we talk enough about like what he's been able to do, Chris. 48 in the 3rd innings pitched on the year to a 2.61. If he is who we think he is, we should be mentioning him in the likes of like a Nolan McLean. I know he's probably McLean's had a better 4 starts, but we're talking about this will be his 10th start, and a chance to get to start the series off right, and for the Yankees to go in and get that gap smaller. So I'm looking at him to see if he can continue to do this. He's built himself up. Last 3 starts, 6 2/3, 6 and 6, and as far as innings pitched, I'd love to see him do that again. And if he's like a guy, I think this was probably the first start where there's a lot of pressure on him. So I want to see how he does.
He has been fantastic, and there's great Cam Schlittler shirts available on shop.johnboymedia.com. If you're a Yankee fan or you just like his name, go. They're pretty creative. For me, I'm going to boil it down to the 2 stars on each side. Vladdy loves hitting at Yankee Stadium. He has got 15 homers there, a 957 OPS. That 15 homers, that is the most of any ballpark in which he has never called his own. He loves the big moment. And by the way, he's had a remarkably consistent season. I was thinking to myself, God, I don't even know what his season is like. He's got almost an 870 OPS, I believe. But if you look at him month to month, April, March, he was 763. So he was kind of slow out of the gate. Then 869, 899, 943, 840, and he's off to a nice 3-game start here in September with a 1.4. So I think he's had a really, really consistent year. Aaron Judge, he's been kind of quiet, I want to say, a little bit, relatively speaking, since he came back.
Yeah, relatively speaking.
He does have 41 homers in 130 games against the Blue Jays. We know that he hit his 62nd homer in Toronto. This series obviously going to be played in New York. He's only got more homers against one other team, and that's the Baltimore Orioles. So I know Aaron Judge comes to play virtually against every team in baseball. There's very few teams he's not great against, but this is one where when he sees them, yeah, he might even bust out the gritty. You never know.
Gritty right there.
Yeah, that was good. It's going to be a fun series. Let us know. Who do you think takes the series edge? Somebody going to win it? Somebody going to sweep? Who's going to win 2 out of 3?
I'm excited. I'm excited to see the crowd, man. I don't know. That's like the first thing that popped into my head.
I know.
The Bronx is going to be freaking rocking.
That's great. The sport needs it. I love it. Big fan. It's good stuff. All right. Which race gets even more interesting this weekend of several others? The NL West, the AL wild card, or the NL wild card, where the Giants have made it interesting and the Reds take on the Mets?
I still think the NL wild card is over. I do, Chris. I just we only have 21 games left. I know the Giants have done a great job getting back into it, but we talked about this. How many games of those 21 are they going to have to win to actually make it in? Probably 16.
Yeah, and the
Which is
Mets will
pretty
have to go.
crazy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go the NL West, and it's
Mhm.
both these teams just got swept. Okay, you get swept by the Padres, got swept by the Orioles. The Dodgers get swept by the Pirates. Two non-playoff teams, although two teams playing better than maybe we're giving them credit for, and it does happen throughout a season. But it just seemed like almost like the AL West. Nobody wants to win the NL West. Like the Dodgers have had this golden opportunity to run away with it. The Padres have had this golden opportunity to come up and chase down the Dodgers, and they just haven't done it. I, that's to me, um, that's a big deal. Who wins that division? Now, I don't think either of those teams. I got to look at the standings. In my mind, whoever wins the NL West is going to be playing in the wild card game.
Well, as of right now, because
The Dodgers are 3 games back.
Yeah, yes, that is accurate. But they
So
also still have one more series to play against Philadelphia.
So hosting a wild card series, I think, means something. You play all 3 games at your park. So I think that to me is very important. Who's going to win this NL West? Because you want to be able to host it. Now, yeah, can the Dodgers run down the Phillies and get the bye? Sure. I don't think it's going to happen. And the Dodgers, this team that we were talking about, best roster ever constructed in the sport, is going to be playing a 3-game playoff set, a NL wild card set, come the end of the season.
Well, I agree with you in terms of what's most interesting, and it is the NL West. In part because if you don't win the West, and if neither of these teams pick it up, there's a real good shot. They're not going to be the 4 seed. They're going to be the 5 seed, if not the 6 seed. Those are all real possibilities. So you are not going to play a home game in the first round if you don't win the division. That is enormous at this point. They both trail the Chicago Cubs, who currently hold the 4 seed. The other thing that makes it interesting, San Diego now takes its show on the road. They're going to take on Colorado. They are 5-1 against them this year. 4 times they've shut Colorado out in 6 games. They've outscored them 54-18. In the meantime, the Dodgers, who are fumbling their way through, particularly offensively, they've scored the fewest runs of any team in the division since the All-Star break and are 20-23 since the break. They're at Baltimore, and you just mentioned what Baltimore did to San Diego. This is a huge weekend. Huge, huge weekend. And those two teams we mentioned, Dodgers and Padres, are done playing one another. Dodgers won the season series, I believe, 9-4. So even though it's a 2-game lead, it's technically a 3-game lead. There you go. Last thing we got before we break for the weekend. Phillies, they end up taking a series in Milwaukee. We told you that at the beginning of the show. But do not blame the Brewers' starting pitcher.
And down he goes. And Bader strikes out on the changeup. He goes with here, and he put him away with a fastball. He's still fastball Freddy.
Yeah, fastball Freddy. 29 consecutive scoreless innings for the ace of the Milwaukee Brewers. And it got me thinking, of just the teams in the National League that currently hold playoff spots, how many other starters would you want making a huge postseason start than Freddy Peralta?
It's a good question because in your mind, you're like, there's a bunch of them, but I don't think there is. I think you can say Christopher Sanchez.
I know that's a tough one.
I'm in on him. I'm in on him.
Mm-hmm. And he's pitched well in his 2 playoff appearances.
Logan Webb doesn't count because they're not in the playoffs. Yeah. So I wouldn't take him. Yamamoto is there for me, but I think that will be it.
I've got one other name for you, and it's the only one. I couldn't come up with anybody.
I have one that's like not real, but like kind of.
I couldn't come up with anybody on the Mets. I couldn't come up with anybody on the Padres.
One on the Mets I'm going with.
Really?
McLean's fucking filthy. I'm sorry, dude.
You would rather have him after 4 starts than Freddy Peralta?
I don't know, dude. I don't know yet. What I've seen in the 4 starts, yes. Does it scare me that he's a rookie? Obviously. I'm just throwing that out there.
That's fun. I like that. I like that. Stick with that. Don't lose that energy. For me, the only other guy I would go with, and I had Yamamoto on my short list. I have two other guys. So I had Yamamoto, I had Sanchez, Blake Snell,
I forgot about Blake Snell.
10 career postseason starts,
Yeah.
more than 11 Ks per nine, a 3.33 ERA. Ranger Suarez is one other guy you never think of. He's had a fantastic year. He's pitched 10 games in the playoffs, 8 starts, a 1.43 ERA.
I like that a lot.
Freddy
You-
Peralta.
You balked at Christopher Sanchez, though.
Well, because he just doesn't have a ton of playoff appearances.
Sure.
That's all. But I love the way he's pitched this year, and I would listen to that argument. There's really not a lot of guys.
No.
There's not. You're not going to go with Clayton Kershaw.
I'm still wondering what he's going to do in the playoffs.
I know. I think he is too. By the way, he is next week's guest on Dugout Discussions.
Very nice.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And he doesn't know what they're going to do with him either. All right. This was a fun-filled week, wasn't it? A lot of energy, even on a short week. A lot of energy. Brian Walsh, thank you for providing some entertainment. Do you feel bad for him at all or no?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. I mean, I've
He's
been
signed up.
super bad at my job in front of a lot of people too. It's not fun.
Me too. Me
Yeah.
too. It's not enjoyable.
Yeah.
It's not enjoyable. I will say this. I could do without some of the name calling. I think it's
Dude,
gross.
social media is a tough place to be on, man.
Yeah, it is. It is. And I just hope that I think he's made some bad decisions. I would never have put out there, if you knew you were being an umpire, I would never have put out there that I'm a lifelong Dodger fan, but just because it does open you up to scrutiny, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can learn a little bit today. All right. We do appreciate you making choices and hanging out with us. For our one-of-a-kind producer, Dan Rourke, our awesome intern, Sawyer, that is the uber-talented Trevor Plouffe, whom you can hear on the Twins broadcast this weekend. I am Chris Rose. Have a great sporting weekend. We will see you Monday here on Baseball Today, presented to you by Mountain Dew.